The 53 Chevy pickup excites me because the plan is right, but we're spanning generations. The clock isn't just about the past and presentation, the present is tying it up.
This is one of those good news, bad news days. The good news is the Classic has chosen the Pismo Beach Car Show to unveil their truck. The bad news? That's in about 2 weeks.
Oh, we got plenty of work to do, Dan.
Oh, yeah. Good morning. This looks good. Powder coated?
Well, we got the frame back from TCI. It was a nice semi-gloss powder-coated finish. It was easier to start with the exhaust. That way we wouldn't run into any other problems trying to fit the exhaust around all the other things. So we found it was easiest to do the exhaust first.
Passing pipe over, under, and around a freshly powder-coated chassis isn't really easy, just easiest compared to what's next.
Once the exhaust was fully installed, we went ahead and pulled out all the brake lines that we previously pulled off. Using the little clamps from Zoops, we fastened them all around and got everything in position. Then we came out with master cylinder and booster, bolted that up, and we ran into a small little problem. We're missing a small little adapter to go from the 3/16 hard line into the 1/4 inch. So we're gonna have to work something out there to make the correct conversion. But it's no big deal because it's something really small, and once we get that done, we'll be fully plumbed for brakes.
Problems at this stage won't stop the job. It doesn't even slow us down.
Usually when you install a torque converter on a new transmission and a new converter, you want to put a lot of fluid inside the converter. As soon as you start it up, it's going to suck all the fluid out of the bottom of the transmission pan, and you're going to burn your transmission up. So you want to make sure you got a lot of fluid in everything.
Getting the transmission together on the ground means we'll be able to bolt it up to the block and drop it in as a single unit. Without a cab or fenders on, there isn't much to go wrong. All we have to do is make sure it doesn't fall.
We were getting the engine and the transmission ready to drop in, and we got the bolts and everything lined up.
The only real challenge with this much open space is remembering where we put all the hardware and hoping we labeled it properly.
Okay, there's a 4-link suspension in the back with adjustable coilovers, and in the front we also have adjustable coilovers, you know, with power rack and stuff, so it's going to be a really nice ride.
Hardest thing we worked on was probably the rear brakes on the vehicle. Normally you get axles, they have holes in them, so you can assemble your rear brake assembly, get your backing plates on. And of course, these are heavy-duty aftermarket axles, and they don't have any holes in them. So it was kind of difficult to get everything put together back there without any holes.
Front control arms, once we got them powder-coated, they were a completely new design that TCI had given us for a front coilover suspension. Now, they were powder-coated, so we have to knock down the powder coating a little bit in order for them to fit. Actually, we started lubing up the bearings on the rotors when they go over the spindles, and Dan noticed that they were pink.
What is this? What is this?
It's synthetic grease.
Grease. This looks like cherry pie filling or something like that. It should be inside of a donut.
Taste it.
It doesn't smell like cherry. But in my day, grease looked like grease. It was black, and you got it on you, and you're covered in it. This looks like you've been at a bakery all day, right?
Tastes just like raspberries.
We're going with the SSBC Force 10 brake setup. Previously, we had some issues getting the rotors on, but we got in touch with the guys at Mosier, and they gave us the correct studs to get everything ironed out with the rotors.
There's no dipstick on our differential, so the only way to tell if it's full is to use a very scientific method. Can you use a little more?
Our differential surprisingly held 5 bottles of oil. Normally you only get 3 to 3.5 in there, but it's a 12 bolt that has a larger cover and everything on it, a little bigger axle tube, so I think it holds a little more than normal.
Well, when we got the pulleys from Zoops, I kind of had just a bunch of pulleys and not everything was labeled. You know, I guess I misplaced the instructions, but we were able to figure everything out. And then we ran into a few instances where my hardware, I guess, was incorrect, but we went ahead and fixed the little problems we had with the threads and stuff, and everything looked like it bolted up pretty nicely, and the pulley lined up really good and everything. All the pulleys did. As soon as I make movement here, then you slip that one over there.
At what point does my finger get caught in here?
Is your finger in place?
It's fine.
Okay. There you have it.
That's it.
The Royal Purple came out with a new oil. It's actually a break-in oil that you use on new motors. This stuff is really high in zinc and phosphorus, so you can use it on hydraulic flat tappet cams and also roller cams without any issues of wiping anything out or the ring seating improperly. We got a pretty good start on the chassis. There's a few more things we got to button up, such as like fuel lines and electrical, do a little fine tuning once we get all the vehicle weight established on the frame, and then you know, we'll be a lot closer, and I'm sure we'll be at Pismo with all the rest of the guys.
To start the day with a bare chassis and to be fine-tuning the suspension at the end, it's not a bad haul. I don't think Pismo is going to be any problem 2 weeks from now.